Catherine Kirby with the Claims Commission. I think I found you on Facebook. You live in the Little Rock area. I was going to furnish you with some information showing that I communicated with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, back in 2017. So I will be sending that to you through Facebook.
I'm not, I cannot accept work-related information via Facebook. I'm happy to give you my email.
If it goes through email, that would be better if you contacted Jhart because of my dyslexia. I use the mic on my phone to help express myself better because I can't see words in my head because of alexia. And dyslexia, my words and letters get mixed up and also cause me trouble there. So writing for me is an incredible challenge. I'm extremely intelligent.
You're welcome to print anything and mail it to me as well if that would be simpler. But I'm not able to accept.
Well, an email through my organization should be more than proficient. Jhart has the necessary information to email it. He could email it to you as an advocate for me. There is nothing illegal about that. And you can easily contact Broken Equality and email him. That's not a problem. I mean, Stephanie with the U.S. Justice Department for Civil Rights did the same thing. And we communicated just fine with them for a period of time. And then they moved it over to a different branch because I was pursuing legal matters in this. That was back in 2018. So when we meet in person, face-to-face, because I do not think this is appropriate to handle over the telephone during the coronavirus. I absolutely do not think this is an appropriate situation. But I do think us meeting face-to-face at some point in time is the appropriate way to handle this.
Okay, well, while I'm in the director of the Claims Commission, I don't decide any claims. So
I understand that Jhart told me that this will have to go in front of a judge. But either way it goes, I'm documenting this, showing how extremely difficult dealing with Arkansas employees, Arkansas appointed officials, and Arkansas state officials who carry the majority of the power in this state over their constituencies in the process of covering up major felonies and crimes and misuse of state and federal funded tax dollars. They have no problem abusing and mistreating their constituencies and wrongfully throwing them in jail. Even though I was cooperating fully with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI at the time, in question. So I was cooperating with the highest law enforcement of the land. So understand what Arkansas did to me in the process of doing my civil duty to reporting misuse of state and federal funded tax dollars in the process of abusing people with disabilities, which resulted in me becoming severely sick and ill, which I have videos and documentation of that and the living conditions, and I've got the maps and the moisture testing of the old World War II Army-Navy hospital. So I know the conditions there. 100%. Arkansas is liable for that. And by attacking me and victimizing me, an obstruction of justice by state employees and appointed employees and appointed officials, or I should say elected officials, working together to cover up major felonies of abuse towards people with disabilities in an institution protected under federal law and state law, receiving more money than state was putting into that, is a crime. So I would recommend, you can look my name up on Google and you can look at my images and my videos. You can see everything right there. All you got to do is type in Brian Ridlon, B-R-I-A-N, Ridlon, R-I-D-L-O-N. You will see.
I understand that you are very passionate about what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm extremely passionate because what I saw happen to myself.
Hang on a second. But
Go
what
ahead.
I'm telling you is whatever you tell me does not go into your file. Telling me anything is of no import. If there's something that you want the commission to be aware of, right now there's a motion to dismiss pending.
My Arkansas Rehabilitation Services, because they do not want this, but there is going to be books and documentaries showing this. There was 8 rapes that happened at that school in 3 months and 3 weeks of me being there. 8 rapes of girls with disabilities. I have a statement from a girl who came forward and said she was raped, and the school went to cover it up, just like they did me, and abused me and my family. My mom had a cardiac arrest and died just here recently. I'm going to be sending more claims in to Arkansas Claims Commission at the state. It's not going to be Arkansas Rehabilitation Services. I'm going to be naming state employees, appointed employees, and elected employees, like Bruce Kozark, who 100% knew about this situation, and because of their lawful act of malice in attacking me to cover up their crimes and their felonies and wrongfully throwing me in jail on trumped up charges, it has put my family through horrific pain.
Well, the Claims Commission is not, we do not have jurisdiction to handle claims against individual employees. If you want to file something against an individual employee, that will need to go to a court of general jurisdiction.
Court of general jurisdiction. Can you have that mailed to my address, please?
Have what mailed to your address?
The information on how to contact that, and also how the address and everything like that. My address is 11415 East Stony Point Court, Little Rock, Arkansas, zip code 72211. So I would greatly appreciate that information being mailed to me so I can file those proper things being done, either through my organization, Broken Equality, through Jay Hart representing me so it can be properly written out and people can read it. So this is done appropriately.
Okay, here's a couple of things. One, right now you have a claim pending against Arkansas Rehabilitation Services. There is a motion to dismiss pending in that.
They did obstruction of justice.
No,
I pursued that. They refused to tell me where to properly file this. I pursued this with diligency. They committed a felony in the process of permitting me not to be able to find you guys. That is hiding. That is hiding information.
If you want me to give you information, you're going to have to let me talk.
Actually, I want the information mailed to me. That would be a lot more professional.
Under the current situation, I have no ability to mail this to you today. I can email.
That's fabulous. Okay, then I'll have it, if I can, I'll have you email it to Jay Hart.
And what email address is that?
Good question. I'm going to have to find it. How about I call back and I'll leave that email on y'all's thing to make sure I've got that. Because I'm supposed to leave and actually go down to the bank and speak with them about some things. And I left a message telling you that I actually have a little bit of a busy day today.
Okay. A couple of things.
Yes, ma'am.
I will wait, and what I will email to you is a copy of our jurisdictional statute. Now, as far as what court of general jurisdiction you choose to go with, I can't give you that kind of legal advice, and you'll need to speak with legal counsel. There are circuit courts, there are federal courts. The appropriate one is a matter for you and any counsel that you may retain to decide. That's not for me to recommend.
That's the biggest thing. I reached out to several attorneys in this time frame, and they made absolute mention of there was an entity out there I could file this with. And I was like, but they said the sovereignty law prevents us from being able to assist you, which is an anti-constitutional law. So later, about 2 months ago, I found out about you guys, which it was tied to the sovereignty law. You had to go to you guys, which made sense why all these attorneys kept saying, we can't sue, we can't do this, but there's a place where you can go. And I'm like, well, what's the place? And they would never tell me. Phone call in there. They were supposed to send it to me in a letter, never did. It didn't matter if it was Rainwater and Saxon. It didn't matter what law firm I called. The same thing kept occurring. So that sovereignty law is an anti-constitutional law. And I'm tired of my elected officials hiding behind something while abusing their constituencies.
Okay.
That is illegal. It goes against my constitutional rights, my Bill of Rights, and my civil rights.
Well, if you want to pursue a claim based on...
Well, we're going to have this conversation face-to-face regardless dealing with the claim I've got now. The other claims that are going to be coming, my brother's working on those letters because of my mom having a cardiac arrest. And she was clinically dead. She was clinically dead for 4 minutes to 6 minutes. And if they did not revive her, she would have been dead. So these people are 100% responsible for attempt of involuntary manslaughter, through their unlawful act on her, through their lawful act on me. That is a crime. And understand, I'm video recording this right now while we're talking. Everything I've done has been video recorded, and I've saved your messages because I want to make sure people know that I'm doing this responsibly. And this will be immediately sent out to every single person that is working with me on finding justice for people with disabilities, and also how Native Americans have been abused just simply because they are born Native American. This is a civil rights movement for people with disabilities, and you're now welcome to Broken Equality. So you might want to check me out.
Okay. Civil rights claims are not in the...
I'm not bringing civil rights claim.
Okay.
You got the claim I've given you. The other claims I'm going to be bringing, I expect that stuff to be mailed to my address.
I bet you expect what to be mailed to your address.
Well, you said you're going to do an email, so get the information where I need to go and talk to these appropriate circuit courts or whatever it is.
The only thing I'm sending to you, sir, is our jurisdictional statute. That's what I can send to you. It's spelling out what the jurisdiction of the Claims Commission is.
Okay, then I'm going to have that go directly to Jay Hart so we can communicate with him. Matthew, do you have your email address?
Yes.
Come here. This is the Claims Commissioner, Catherine, I don't know your last name, I can't pronounce it.
I'm not the commissioner, I'm the director.
Well, director, excuse me. It does say director. I apologize. My brother actually stepped in, who I was actually going to leave with. I'm going to let you give his email address to you. Then I'm going to also send you Jay Hart's email address through basically a recorded message. So come over here and give her your email address, Matthew.
Okay, my email address, and this is all one word and all lowercase letters, mridlon@live.com.
Okay, mridlon@live.com.
Okay, it's mridlon@live.com.
That's what I have.
Okay, that's it then.
Okay, is Mr.
That's also Matthew Ridlon, my brother. That's Matthew. He also has been affected and victimized at this school. There's been several students victimized at this school, which I have video and documentation of it. I have videos of a girl who has an IV in her arm receiving morphine from the sores and lesions that were on her body. She was also attacked by scabies. There was a massive bed bug problem they've been dealing with for at least 15, 20 years, which I've got documented, which my brother got ate up severely by bed bugs. So, this has all been well video recorded, documented, and everything. Like I said, I got the map and moisture testings where they tried to hire a engineering crew and a construction crew to come in and do all the testing and stuff and do a cosmetic cleanup fast job on the old World War II Army Navy hospital, trying to make it look all nice and pretty when they had black mold growing out of the concrete. And I've got video footage of it to prove it. Standing water in dorm rooms where it was running down the wall and everything else. I don't think that's appropriate to treat people with disabilities like that, and military soldiers with mental disabilities and physical disabilities whatsoever in the state of Arkansas. So when I'm saying I will be producing a documentary and books exposing the felonies and crimes of this state, and the fact that I reached out to several elected officials, state officials, and state employees to have them victimize me, attack me, terrorize me, and throw me in jail, and put unnecessary trauma and stress and terrorizing my own family through their actions towards me and scaring my mother for 3.5 years. Yeah, we've got a serious problem.
Well, Mr. Ridlon, you were saying that there are things that you want to discuss with me, and...
Actually, we discussed that. What I'm saying is you are in charge of your facility, correct? I have dealt with so many facilities in Arkansas, from disability rights to Arkansas Rehabilitation Services to finding out that actually Commissioner Alan McClain, and who's the blonde woman, his boss, Childers, who?
Cerise Childers.
Cerise Childers.
Yeah, Cerise
Both of them commissioners. And I reached out to both of them on the phone in 2017 and 2018 to have them not return my phone call because they knew what was going on. They saw my videos on Facebook, which they're all back up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, through Broken Equality and my organization and through my people. So this is not going nowhere. Victimizing people with disabilities in the state of Arkansas is over. Have I made that clear?
I understand if that's what you were telling me, yes.
Good. Because I do not appreciate what my family's been put through and what I witnessed at that school. That school was given to the state of Arkansas for $1. And they drove it into the ground, desecrating every military soldier that was ever saved in that building to abuse people with disabilities off of state and federal funded tax dollars. I had a civil duty to report that to any place that I could get to listen to me. It happened to have been the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, right over here on Shackelford Road, right across from the old Krispy Kreme building. And I spoke to them for 6 hours to 10 hours on 4 different occasions. I have done my civil duty to protect my community. I've done my civil duty to protect your family, because if your family ever got into a car wreck or a car accident or got injured, they would have fell into the same system I fell into. No one deserves to be abused to this magnitude because of their disability. Not a military soldier, not a citizen of the United States of America, not your family. So Broken Equality works for the people. So I encourage you to look up my name. You look at those videos, you look at that documentation, and you ask yourself, if you were in my shoes, if your mother had cardiac arrest, if your family's been persecuted, would you want that done to your family? And I know the answer is no. So I appreciate your phone call, and I hope you understand my frustration with everything I've been through. This is not towards you. I have no malice towards you. I am sharing my feelings and what I have been put through. They had choices instead of making this worse. They had choices. Obstruction of justice and covering up felonies and crimes and victimizing people, which are their constituencies, is a crime in the United States of America. I expect to find justice and be vindicated. You have a wonderful day, and I hope to God your family never finds themselves in the situation my family has found themselves into, or other people with disabilities. But I assure you, this coronavirus, there's going to be a lot of people hurting after this that are unfortunately going to be affected by respiratory disabilities and other things. And they're going to find out that there's a serious broken system in this country. And I am looking out for their welfare, your family's welfare, and everyone else, in spite of my disability and in spite of my problems with my disability. And that is because I'm a God-serving, loving man. And that will never change, because that is what my mom instilled in me, and that is what my Native American elder instilled in me. So, Miss Catherine, I thank you so much for your time and your phone call. I do hope you do look up my name. Again, like I said, my name is Brian Ridlon, B-R-I-A-N, Ridlon, R-I-D-L-O-N. I will be the first person that pops up on Google. Go to images and videos. And I want you to think long and hard. Would you ever want your family to suffer the same as mine?
I understand what you're saying, sir. What I'm telling you, though, is if you want the commissioners to see, because the commissioners are who will rule on this motion to dismiss. If you want them to review anything, you have to submit it to the Claims Commission. Me looking at anything, you telling me something, I don't vote. I don't make the decision.
I'll say this. During the fact that we have a pandemic, they need to wait. They need to respect the situation at hand, and they need to allow me the appropriate time to handle this in a healthy and productive manner. Failure to do that is to go against my constitutional rights, my civil rights, my Bill of Rights, which has already been severely abused by this state and this country. So I really don't think Arkansas Claims Commission wants to be in my documentary. I really don't think they want to be humiliated by the fact that they're not wanting to exercise good judgment on handling this at a slow and appropriate rate.
Well, the amount of time you are permitted to respond to something isn't decided by the Claims Commission. It's decided by the Arkansas Rules of Civil Procedure. Now, currently, because the Claims Commission is closed, that impacts the day, your deadline to respond to it. But it is the Arkansas Rules of Civil Procedure that decides how long you have to respond to something. In this case, a motion to dismiss.
Well, if they're doing a motion to dismiss, then I hope they're going to be ready for a big humiliation, because these books and documentary are going to be coming. And I'm not going to sit here and hold back. I'm going to tell the truth and let it be out there for everyone to see.
Arkansas Rehab Services has already filed a motion to dismiss.
I know they did. And they have illegally, basically, prevented me justice. Obstruction of justice the whole way through. I should have already been sent in you guys' direction immediately when I started requesting to be sent in this direction. Yes or no?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. They should have immediately sent me in your direction.
I'm guessing that Arkansas Rehab Services would say that they don't represent you.
I didn't say they represented me. I said as soon as I had a proper complaint, the attorneys of Arkansas or anybody should have made it aware to me that I should have gone to Arkansas Claims Commission to file this and not run me around in a circle on a merry-go-round.
No, I can't speak for Arkansas Rehab Services.
Well, we're not talking about Arkansas Rehab Services. We're talking about the attorneys. We're talking about ACTI, which is still Arkansas Rehabilitation Services. We're talking about Disability Rights of Arkansas. We're talking about several places I've gone. I should have immediately been informed of this sovereignty law and that I had to go to you guys to file this correctly. Will we not say that's responsible?
I'm not going to speculate on what people should or should not have done without all the information, sir. I'm sorry. I'm not willing to do that.
Well, I appreciate that. But we all know the responsible thing to have done is just be honest and truthful. True? It's not hard. It's not hard.
If there are other specific questions about the process for the Claims Commission, or I will send this information to the email that your brother gave me.
I appreciate that.
And if you have other process-related questions, you're welcome to contact me.
I appreciate that too. I will contact you and I will give you the email to Jay Hart, which I promised. We will try to get that information out to them. I will let this be known for them to attempt to cover this up and hide you guys' identity for this long only leads towards the aspects of them looking guilty. And they know they're guilty. I'm not hiding anything. You look my name up, I promise you, it's overwhelming.
Well, is there anything else that right now I can answer for you?
No, ma'am. Not at all. I greatly appreciate you for your time, and I am sorry that I may come off as a very strong cup of coffee, but when your family's been as hurt as bad as mine, you would understand. Or at least I would hope you would. So, I do appreciate this conversation. I do want you to know I did record this for the simple fact that I want people to know that we did have relatively, I would say, a cordial conversation. I was still firm on what has happened to me, which I have that legal right to be. So, I want you to have a wonderful day, and I do appreciate your phone call back.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. God bless.